Now, this is actually going to be a conclusion to the story. We talked about this already, but I got some things I want to say, not only about the wife in this situation, but the husband. Come to find out, we were actually right, and the wife was right about what she thought about him and what she accused of him doing. And to be honest with you, I'm actually perfectly okay with how she handled her business when it came to excoriating her husband for being just a nasty, filthy, stinking ass pedophilic dog, right? But before we get into the details, let me give you guys a disclaimer before we remind you about what he did and give you an update about where he's at now. Some viewers may find the following content offensive and controversial. The information in this video comes from multiple sources, including court records, official police charges, news web articles, and interviews. This video commentary also contains my personal opinions about the facts of this story. The point is to use this story as a cautionary tale in hopes of preventing tragedies like these to children going forward. Viewer discretion is advised. That is your official disclaimer. And my source for this news is WBALT TV or WBALTV.com. So thank you for the article for this particular update. So this man that you guys see right here, former law enforcement, also just really, really incredibly stupid. The Baltimore County jury in a sex abuse trial of James Weems Jr., this guy right here, this pedophile, reached a guilty verdict Friday on all 6 counts. Jurors had 6 charges to consider, all involving sexual abuse of a minor, second-degree rape, and displaying obscene matter to a minor. Weems was arrested on charges in July of 2022, so it don't even seem like it was that long ago when we talked about this story, but it was. So it takes a while for these stories to conclude, but we are here now. Now, a preliminary sentencing date has been set for January the 8th, during which time Weems faces 2 life sentences. The Marine veteran and retired Baltimore City police officer drove a van for his wife's daycare center in Owings Mills Lil Kids Castle Daycare Center. The abuse allegedly took place on the center's playground and inside the transport van, investigators said. During closing arguments on Friday, prosecutors claimed Weems took small, slow, progressive steps to get a 10-year-old girl in his web by giving her favorable treatment and snacks and showing her pornography on his cell phone. Nasty son of a bitch. The Baltimore County Assistant State's attorney told the jury, the reality is that the person who will hurt your child it is somebody they know. It is somebody they like or admire, the person who drives your children from daycare to school. Sorry, I get tongue-tied a little bit. During the trial, Weems admitted to a porn addiction, watching while in the daycare's van to pick up children from school. He said he would lean his body and turn the phone so no one could see it. The prosecutor told the jury, was it risky? Yes, it was risky, but was there opportunity? There was. One would think he wouldn't be looking at porn on a van with school children on it. Weems' defense attorney argued that while Weems was addicted to porn, he did not intentionally show any pornographic material to the girl, who is now 12 years old, or sexually abuse her, and I think she was 10 years old at the time, which will make him a pedophile. The defense also said there was a possibility the girl inadvertently accessed porn on his device. Not blaming the kids at all. Blaming him solely. The defense said, how does an innocent man come to court and try to prove a negative that something didn't happen? He didn't intentionally give access to the webpage with porn on it. He denied all the sexual allegations. Why wouldn't James be worthy of belief? In their final argument, prosecutors claimed Weems was grooming the child, saying these types of crimes thrive in secrecy and shame. Here's where his wife comes in. Weems' ex-wife by the name of Shantiri Weems, the now 12-year-old alleged victim, relatives, and a FBI special agent all testified in trial over the past week. Shantiri Weems confronted her husband about the allegations and shot him, that's where they were about to arrest her right there. She shot this man in July of 2022 in a Washington, D.C. hotel. She is currently serving a 4-year prison sentence for the shooting. So I do want to say this to Shantiri Weems. I support her. I am proud of her standing on business and protecting kids and just being outright disgusted. This could have been deemed as a crime of passion. She wasn't in her right mind. But I tell you what, I support what she did. And matter of fact, when she get out of jail, I would love to meet her in person and take her out on a date and let her date somebody who is not a pedophile. I would love to take her out, right? Beautiful, pretty smile, pretty eyes. I'd love to take her out and take her away from this man who abuses and thinks that it's okay to sexually abuse children and watch porn around children and groom little babies, right? Yes, I meant that too. I would absolutely take the second that she gets out, I'm going to be right there at the front steps with flowers and candy, and I'm going to take her out on wonderful dates. I'm going to court that woman as soon as she gets out of prison because she stood on business. Let me give you guys the fair usage. You're damn right. I ain't playing. Not playing at all. Federal law allows citizens to reproduce, distribute, or exhibit portions of copyrighted motion pictures, videotapes, or video discs under certain circumstances without the authorization of the copyright holder. This is called fair use. It is allowed for purposes of criticism, news reporting, teaching, and parody, which doesn't infringe of copyright under 17 U.S.C. 107. I'm going to bring her out here to Texas. I'll go fly to her if I need to. Y'all would do me a favor and make that dream of mine come true. Do me a favor and hit that thumbs up. And, yeah, share this video and share it with Shantiri. So when she gets out here in the next 2 or 3 years, me and her can have a happy life together, right? Let's get into the news stories.
The FBI special agent spent much of the day on the witness stand, and over the past few days, we've learned a lot more about how this case developed. Prosecutors say during a family gathering, the victim in this case was looking at a pornographic website. When asked who showed her this, she said Mr. James. Today also testifying, the victim's mother and grandmother. James Weems Jr., seen here wearing a dark jacket and pink shirt, was married to the owner of the Lil Kids Corner Daycare Center in Owings Mills. He was also the van driver. Prosecutors allege he took special and inappropriate interest in some of the children, including a girl who was 10 but is now 12 years old. Weems is charged with sexual abuse of a minor, second-degree rape, assault, and displaying obscene material to a minor. The allegations against him surfaced in July 2022 when he was confronted about the accusations and shot by his now ex-wife, Shantiri Weems, who is serving a 4-year prison sentence.
I mean, just look at how pretty she is. Beautiful. Call me.
For the shooting. Jurors have heard the testimony of the young girl, and now they're learning more about how the investigation started. The girl's mother testified she was concerned about the van arriving late at the daycare after picking up children from school. And she thought the interaction between Weems and her daughter was unusual, telling the jury she would have snacks, chips, Dunkin' Donuts, or candy. She said Mr. James gave it to her. The mother admitted she didn't make any objections to it. Her reaction when she found her daughter was looking at a porn site the girl claimed she first saw on the van driver's cell phone. "Oh my gosh," she said, "I couldn't believe he was showing her that. Why my child? At first, it was hard to believe." The mother and other family members explained how police and the Department of Social Services got involved. And we noticed there is a slight change in the jury. Originally, 15 people were chosen, 12 jurors and 3 alternates. Right now, there are only 13 in the jury box.
Corner in your corner. This is
Zaza.
And I'm Stefan Dingle. Welcome to those of you watching us on CBS News Baltimore and here on WJZ TV. James Weems Jr. testified for several hours in a Baltimore County courtroom today.
And right now, WJZ investigator Mike Helgren breaks down what he told the jury. A warning to our viewers, some of the details in this report are disturbing.
Late this afternoon, the defense rested its case. Jurors will hear closing arguments and begin their deliberations tomorrow. James Weems Jr. told the jury life was good, that he frequently traveled and ate at fancy restaurants with his wife Shanteri, until it all crumbled in July of 2022 when he was accused of molesting children at Little Kids Castle, the successful daycare she owned in Owings Mills. Today, he testified in his own defense, categorically denying ever abusing children in his regular job driving the daycare's van. How are you feeling?
You're asking which prison is Shanteri Weems in? I'm not sure. You might Google search it. They call me B. If you're trying to hook me up, let me see. You spell her name Shanteari, and then Weems, Weems. Shouldn't be too hard to find. Because they actually did a news story on her also. So yeah, we definitely gotta we gotta get on the job for sure. Get her away from this man.
After your client's testimony?
You always ask me that, and I always tell the reporters that I like to comment when the case is over.
The defendant described the now 12-year-old victim who testified against him as a nice little girl. He admits he regularly looked at pornography while driving the daycare van, but testified he leaned over so the kids could not see it. The prosecutor detailed his searches for pornography provided by the FBI and how he would often search for teens while he was driving the van from elementary school to elementary school in Baltimore County. She said, "That's what you liked. You liked the teen young look." "I just liked the porn," he replied. At one point, the 59-year-old former Marine and Baltimore City police officer conceded it was inappropriate. He said it was just to pass time while I'm waiting. The prosecutor later asked, "Isn't it true most of the time you were looking at pornography is when you were with the kids?" His answer, probably yes. She responded, "So your addiction was when you were with children?" Weems answered, "No." He also admitted it was possible the children accidentally saw the pornography and that he would at times hand his phone to them so they could look at an app to identify airplanes. Weems alleged his ex-wife, who later shot him during a confrontation about the allegations, introduced him to porn. "It became addictive, so I would just go on it when we weren't together," he testified. But he said he never looked at child porn and willingly handed over his phone and provided his passcode to police during the investigation. Prosecutors announced they were dropping several charges, but most of the case remains intact, and Weems still faces charges.
Mr. James showed her sexually explicit videos, quote, a lot of times. She also claimed he had her engage in sex acts, quote, a few times. James Weems Jr. is charged with sexual abuse of a minor, second-degree rape, and displaying obscene material to a minor. The former Marine and retired Baltimore City police officer drove the van for his wife's daycare center in Owings Mills. The abuse allegedly took place on the center's playground and inside the transport van. During opening statements, prosecutors said Weems visited a number of pornographic sites, claiming while he was waiting for the kids to pick them up, he is getting himself in the mood. The defense did give this concession. He was using porn and he had somewhat of an addiction. Never once did he give the girl his phone and say, "Look at this site." The defendant's former wife, Shanteri Weems, testified against him.
She is beautiful.
She said when she heard the allegations in July 2022, she was upset and stressed and had lots of questions. She said he seemed calm and had no questions. Her supporters were in the courtroom Tuesday.
I'm going to always support my sister no matter what. And I wanted to his trial kept getting pushed off, so I definitely wanted to see it kick off and see her.
Because of an agreement between prosecutors and the defense, the jury did not hear anything about how Weems confronted her former husband on the allegations at a Washington, D.C. hotel, or how she is currently serving a 4-year sentence for shooting him.
Miss Weems did something that she felt was worth it to protect those children. So she's been held accountable. Now it's his turn.
Her attorneys believe the jury should have been given that information.
I think the jury needs to know why a person that rational, that calm, that, focused and reasonable, why would she snap like that? unless something happened.
Testimony in the case continues tomorrow. Reporting from Towson,
Well, but now that part of the process is ended. Like I said, I think the only other thing that's left is just the sentencing at this point. And yeah, if he gets offended that I'm trying to talk to his wife, you should be offended, sir. You're a goddamn pedophile. And I think that you need to be in gen population, and whatever happens to you absolutely deserves to happen to you, right? That woman don't deserve that. She deserves a good man and a good life, and she had a good business and a good amount of a customer base. Should she come on out here to Texas and start her life over and yeah, move in the right direction. Drop that loser and get with a winner, right? This man deserves a life sentence. No protective custody. Screw the fact that he served the country. You don't get to mess with kids and molest babies and stuff like that and get away with it. So hopefully they'll give him the appropriate sentence and put him in general population. Thank you guys so much. Thank you guys so much for listening to this story. Look, and I'm not even being funny. That lady is beautiful. But nonetheless, thank you guys so much for listening to the AFC podcast. Leave a comment, like, share, subscribe. We'll catch you guys on the next show, and we'll catch her as soon as she gets out of jail, okay? Thank you guys so much. Peace.